We're looking at a plant cell and animal cell. Both cells are eukaryotic cell. In the diagram of plant cell, you will see that the large central vacuole will tend to push the nucleus to the edge of the wall. Due to lack of vacuole in an animal, even if there will be vacuole present in animal cell, it will just be food vacuole. And that food vacuole is only found in unicellular organisms like Amoeba, Paramecium, Euglena. That's where you see the, Paramecium and the Amoeba. That's where you see the vacuole. And this vacuole is called food vacuole. And it's not as if the food vacuole is permanent. It's a temporal food vacuole, which can only be found during food capturing. So, but in the case of where there is no capturing of food, if food is not involved, the food vacuole is absent in animal cells. So food vacuole is not an organelle that is basically present in an animal cell. So we're going to look at the cell. So this is the plant cell. The plant cell. As you can see, there is a central vacuole in this cell, which tend to push the nucleus to the side of the wall, the cell wall. Like in an animal cell, I'm going to be showing you something there. You can't see a nucleus. Even when you can't see a vacuole. Even when you see a vacuole, it will be considerably small. That is to say that in animal cell, the nucleus will be placed centrally. But why the nucleus is not at the center in this cell is because of the fact that this push the nucleus aside. It forces the nucleus to the side of the cell. That is very basic. And then, looking at the labeled organelle, the first organelle, according to Robert Brown, that was found or first discovered, either plant or animal cells, is nucleus, which happens to be the living parts. This nucleus forms part of the protoplasm together with the cytoplasm. So nucleus, cytoplasm, and the cell membrane happen to be the living part of the cell. The living part of the cell is the cytoplasm, nucleus, and the cell membrane. The three here, this, and this, are collectively called the protoplasm of the cell. The living part of the cell. That's there. Then, one thing that you must know about this the plant cell here, is that there are some organelles that are having double membrane. There are some few organelles that have double membrane. The cell that have double membrane here is the nucleus again, with double membrane. The nucleus is supposed to be drawn like this, with another membrane, and each of these membrane is having what I call nuclear pore. Inside is the nucleolus. That is structure, very spherical, very dense. In fact, the largest organelle in plant and animal cells is nucleus. Forget about that. The vacuole is sizable, but that's not the largest organ here. But what forms the largest part of this organelle is the nucleus. Like I said, is the most dense or the most largest organelle in both plant and animal cell. Alright, this is where all inheritance or hereditary information are stored. It houses the DNA in most eukaryotic cell, like plants is eukaryotes. And then we have rough endoplasmic reticulum. Like I said before, this is a H-shaped organelle that is very closely associated with a nucleus, very close to the nucleus. If the endoplasmic reticulum has some attached ribosome on it, the endoplasmic reticulum is said to be rough endoplasmic reticulum. The rough endoplasmic reticulum. The function of endoplasmic reticulum is that it connects the nucleus with the cell membrane. And it is through this rough endoplasmic reticulum that protein is transported to the cell. It means that you know that since the nucleus controls the activities of the cell, So that means synthesis of protein from DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid to RNA, then to proteins. So for information like proteins, that means information flow from DNA to RNA from what we call the transfer RNA, and then the messenger RNA transport information from DNA to RNA. So this messenger RNA. Then when information flow from RNA to protein, that is a transfer RNA. So it means that here, the activities of the cell is controlled in the nucleus. That's the function of the nucleus of every cell. So if proteins are made in this particular part, so that means there is a connection between the endoplasmic reticulum and nucleus, so that it connects the both. Because the function of the endoplasmic is to transport, once it is rough, is for transport of protein from the nucleus to other part of the cell. That is the rough endoplasmic reticulum. But if it is without or is not associated with ribosome, that is when it is smooth. The function of the smooth endoplasmic reticulum is synthesis of lipids. Lipids are fatty acid. Lipids are fat and oils. So the part of the organelle that synthesize lipids or steroids is the smooth endoplasmic reticulum. I say this again. When the endoplasmic reticulum is not associated with ribosome, it is said to be smooth endoplasmic reticulum. But when it is associated with ribosome, it's said to be rough endoplasmic reticulum. The function of the rough endoplasmic reticulum is for transport of proteins. Proteins are made or synthesized in the ribosomes. The ribosome synthesize proteins. While transport of protein is done by the rough endoplasmic reticulum, then the smooth endoplasmic reticulum synthesize lipids or steroid. And then we have the Golgi body. The Golgi body is a flat tube. You can see them here. Flat tube. You can see it both in plant cell as well as animal cell. But we'll be taking on the similarities of plant and animal cell. There are some organelles that are present in this cell and are equally present in animal cell. But there are some organelles that are absent you don't see some organelles like cell wall and chloroplast. You don't see these two, and as well large vacuole. You don't see large vacuole, you don't see cell wall and chloroplast in animal cell. You don't see such things. So these are the organelles that are basically lacking in animal cell. But Golgi apparatus is both found in plant cell and the animal cell. They are flat tube. Sometimes the most cells that have Golgi body, their function is not known. Their function, sometimes organisms with Golgi body or Golgi complexes, sometimes their functions are not known in organisms. And then we have a vacuole, sap vacuole. In plants, this is where salts are stored. It is this vacuole that gives this plant its turgidity. The vacuole gives plant turgidity, and salt are stored in this vacuole. And then we have a mitochondrion, the powerhouse, the energy house of the cell. Like I told you, that cell that has numerous mitochondria are called active cells. There are some organelles that have more mitochondria than the rest. Like mentioned organelles that have more mitochondria that are actively involved in metabolic processes. You mentioned chloroplast, which is the site of photosynthesis. Energy. It releases energy to the cell when food are manufactured from inorganic material. So the powerhouse of the cell, which of the following organelles are powerhouse? Talk about the mitochondrion. Most times, this question like this are asked. The powerhouse is the site, is the seat of respiration. Seat of respiration, powerhouse or energy house of the cell. And then the chloroplasts. Chloroplasts is an organelle that is not found in animal cell. It's not even found in fungi. It's only found in plants that carry out photosynthesis. And in the chloroplasts, there is a green coloring pigment called chlorophyll. The chlorophyll is a pigment that is very sensitive to light, and this is what aids the organism for synthesis or manufacture of its own food. All right, like I said, the Golgi apparatus or Golgi complexes in most cells, their functions are not known. But in this cell, it has no connection with any organelle. It's on its own. It has no connection with organelle, but it helps in secretions of lysosome in animal cell. Secretion of lysosome, maybe in animal cell, I'll tell you various functions of lysosome. Lysosome could be absent in animal plant cell, but it's very, very important in animal. It is absent in plant cell, but very, very important in a animal cell, as it secretes hydrolytic enzyme that destroy foreign bodies or that destroy bacteria.